afternoon, panelists. Good afternoon, classmates. My name is Precious Angel M. Faustino.
And I'm CJ Chavez.
And here, Mia Vitan.
And the title of our research today is Statistical Analysis of Veterinary Practices in Preventing Rabies Transmission. So we have our chapter 1. And for our introduction, rabies remains a serious threat to both humans and animals. Veterinarians play a very important role in preventing it from spreading, especially because the disease can pass on from humans to animals. And this study analyzes current veterinary practices and evaluates how effective they are in reducing rabies transmission. And for our background of the study, despite the availability of vaccines, rabies is still a major concern in the Philippines. So in our research here, we focus on the rabies in the Philippines only. And veterinary clinics help control the disease by providing proper vaccination and following established protocols. The study surveys veterinarians in Metro Manila to assess their practices and identify areas for improvement in rabies prevention.
So for our literature review, we have our common findings, our contrasting findings, and our synthesis. For our common findings, studies show that widespread rabies vaccination programs reduce human rabies cases, emphasize the importance of pet vaccination for legal and health purposes, and highlight that dogs and cats are the main focus of city-level vaccination efforts, with both national and community initiatives proving effective. In contrast, global studies focus on broad public health strategies and One Health approaches, while local Makati data highlights concrete city-level vaccination outcomes. Meanwhile, pet traveler centers on pet owner responsibilities rather than epidemiological impacts, contrasting global goals with localized statistics. In our synthesis, the reviewed literature collectively shows that dogs receive the most rabies vaccination, followed by cats, and that vaccination programs significantly reduce rabies risk, strengthen public health, and support One Health strategy and protecting both humans and animals in urban areas.
For our research problems, we have 3 that we've answered after the survey. Number 1, to what extent do veterinarians in some parts of Metro Manila, specifically in Manila, Pasay, Makati, and Parañaque, know and believe about rabies? Number 2, how are animal vaccination practices in local clinics related to rabies cases, and what is the common animal and breed that is vaccinated against rabies transmission in local veterinary clinics? For our study framework, we are supported by One Health theory that helps us to identify the veterinary beliefs and practices about rabies and the effectiveness of vaccination, and identify the common animal vaccinated and its relationship to rabies bad cases. After this, we conducted a descriptive study in this topic.
And for our scope and limitation, this research focused on analyzing the statistical data of veterinary practices in preventing rabies transmission. Recent studies and research were used as references to determine the preventive measures that veterinarians practice against rabies. The study covered some registered veterinarians from the selected cities in Metro Manila. It did not address other issues that were not part of the statistical analysis of veterinary practices in preventing rabies transmission. Veterinarians who were not located in the specific cities in Metro Manila were outside the scope of this study. And for our definition of terms, we have effectiveness, prevention, protocol, rabies, statistical data, transmission, vaccination, and veterinarians. So these words were used very frequently in our research.
For our chapter 2, procedures, the step 1, the questionnaires were created based on the research problems that we've mentioned earlier. And research teacher, Mrs. April Anton. Step 3, the researchers printed the questionnaires and made a letter of consent for the survey. And step 4, the researchers surveyed certain veterinary clinics in Makati, Pasay, Manila, and Parañaque. And lastly, the researchers gathered the data and analyzed and made a data analysis paper presenting the results of the survey. For our quantitative design, the research used a descriptive quantitative design to conduct the study. It is a type of research that just observes what is happening and describes it, helping them to understand humans or situations as they really are. This design helped them gain a better understanding of the topic and allowed them to examine veterinary practices more thoroughly. For our research site, as we mentioned earlier, we've surveyed in Manila, 4 veterinarians in Manila, 4 also in Makati and Pasay, and 6 veterinarians in Parañaque. For our sampling and participants, this study used a quantitative research approach and applied random sampling to select participants. A total of 18 licensed veterinarians took part in the study. These participants came from the 4 cities in Metro Manila, which were in Pasay, Makati, Parañaque, and Manila. To make sure each city was fairly represented, the researchers used stratified random sampling. This meant they divided the area by city and then randomly picked veterinarians from each city. The veterinarians were chosen from different clinics and hospitals in each location. This method helped make the study results more accurate and reliable because it included a variety of veterinarians from different places.
And for our data collection, like what was mentioned a while ago by Angel, we use a quantitative research approach, and we also prepared a structured survey that included a multiple choice questions. And these questions were designed to provide clear and concise answers about rabies prevention. We visited several veterinarians and interviewed them about the measures they use to help prevent the spread of rabies. The survey focused on their experiences, their daily practices, and the steps they take to control rabies in their communities. Before participating, each veterinarian was asked to sign a consent form. This ensured that they clearly understood the purpose of the study and agreed to take part. We also assured them that their identities would remain anonymous. This means that we did not include their names or any personal details in our report. Only the survey results and their responses were used in the study. And for data collection and presentation analysis.
So this is our data analysis. Here in our figure 1, the results show that the majority of the veterinarians have 1 to 2 years of experience. The others with 22.2% have 3 to 5 years of experience, while others prefer not to say, which shows that other veterinarians lack comfort in disclosing their experience level. The result shows that most veterinarians that we surveyed are less experienced than the others that we surveyed. And in our figure 2, the bare veterinary specialization. The results show that half of the veterinarians that we surveyed prefer not to say, indicating that there's a high level of veterinarians that doesn't want to disclose their specialization. Among those who specified their specialization is small animal medicine, followed by feline medicine, cardiology, and nurse with the same number of respondents. For figure 3, rabies transmission is a public health concern. So, 100% of the veterinarians in the study agreed that rabies transmission is a significant public health concern. If rabies is left untreated, it can result in brain infection and death. So, type of treatment considered appropriate after exposure to a rabid animal. 100% of the veterinarians say modern medicine is the right treatment after contact with a rabid animal, and 0% chose traditional methods. Rabies is a very serious and needs immediate care. like getting vaccine shots right away to stop the virus. Here in our figure 5, the question was, rabies can spread if saliva from a rabid animal gets into an open wound or mucous membrane. Most veterinarians think rabies can spread if saliva gets into a cut or mucous membrane. About 66.7% said that it is very likely and 27.8% said it is likely. Only one vet, about 5.6%, did not want to answer. This shows that most veterinarians know that this is a real risk. Figure 6, rabies transmission through blood, urine, or feces. 78 responded no. That says that most participants believe that rabies can be transmitted through blood, urine, or feces. Only 22% say yes, which shows that these veterinarians believe that it can be transmitted. For our figure 7, veterinarians' familiarity with incubation period of rabies. The results show that most veterinarians fall into very familiar and familiar categories. This shows that these veterinarians have a strong level of familiarity with the incubation period of rabies. Only a few number of veterinarians being neutral, while veterinarians who are unfamiliar are low. So, in our figure 8, veterinarians' confidence in recognizing the early symptoms of rabies. The results show that the strong confidence from the veterinarians with more than 60% said that they are confident and very confident. Neutral responses accounted for 27.8%. That shows that there is uncertainty in the answers of the veterinarians, while very few veterinarians are reported to have low confidence in this question. Rabies fatality once symptoms appear. The results in figure 9 show that most respondents strongly agree, which is 72.2%, and 27.8% agree that the rabies is always fatal once symptoms appear. This indicates that the majority have a strong understanding of the seriousness of rabies and are aware that the disease becomes almost impossible to treat once clinical signs develop. Only very small percentage fall outside these categories, showing that there is a wide awareness and very little disagreement about the fatal nature of symptomatic rabies. In our figure 10, importance of immediate treatment. All results are showing that the majority consider it very important to get immediate treatment after rabies exposure, and only a small number rated it as important. In figure 11, number of animals that are vaccinated against rabies each year in local veterinary clinics. Most veterinarians responded that 50 plus animals are being vaccinated each year in their clinics, and a small portion, which is 16.7%, preferred not to disclose the number of animals. More veterinary clinics have fewer rabies cases. In our figure 12, over half of the veterinarians answered yes. That makes it a dominant response, while 27.8% responded no, showing that more than 1/4 do not support this statement. In our figure 13, the effectiveness of post-exposure rabies treatment. The result shows that 12 veterinarians believe that the treatment is 100% effective, and there is a low number of veterinarians who prefer not to say and are unsure. So for our figure 14, the results show that veterinarians say that the rabies vaccination is 100% safe, and none of them answered unsure. And for our very last figure, the type of animals that is commonly vaccinated in local clinics. The results show that the type of animal that is commonly vaccinated in their clinic is dogs and cats. Dogs being the highest, followed by cats. Others prefer not to say.
And for our conclusion, the data showed that the most respondents were early career veterinarians with 1 to 2 years of experience. Many did not disclose their specialization, but among those who did, Most were in small animal medicine, and all veterinarians supported the safety of modern medicine and showed good knowledge of rabies, including its incubation period and early symptoms. And most agreed that the immediate post-exposure treatment is very important. Clinics reported vaccinating over 50 or more animals each year, with dogs being the most common vaccinated, followed by cats. Mixed breed dogs and common cats were most frequently vaccinated animals. And for our recommendations, future studies should address that the high numbers of prefer not to say responses to better understand how specialization affects perspectives. It is recommended that early career veterinarians should attend more seminars or trainings to boost their confidence in rabies prevention. Data collection should also include more clinics in and outside of Metro Manila for more accurate results. Future research may compare new or senior veterinarians and explore possible long-term effects of rabies vaccine on animals. And next we have our references. This is where we got our information from, and also our RRL. And also, if you look at the last pages of our research paper, you can see our appendix there, and you can see what instrument we use, which is survey questionnaires, and you could also see the pictures. Some of the pictures, there's only 2 pictures, but those are the pictures of the vets that we went to. And then we also put in the paper our questionnaires and yung consent forms. And that is all for our research on statistical analysis of veterinary practices in preventing rabies transmission.